Stella's hand trembled as she clutched the phone, the screen illuminating a string of messages that sliced through her like a blade. "I can't wait to feel your skin again," the text read, sent from Natalie's number to an unknown contact named A. In that instant, the world Stella had meticulously built, the dream wedding, the future home, the facade of perfect love, crumbled into dust, leaving her gasping for air in the silence of their shared apartment. She had always prided herself on being the rational one, the planner who mapped out every detail of their life together. But now, as she scrolled through the betrayal, her mind raced with a torrent of questions. How long? Why? And worst of all, who was this that had stolen the intimacy she thought was hers alone? Stella's chest tightened, a storm of rage and sorrow brewing inside her, threatening to erupt. She couldn't cry, not yet. Instead, she paced the room, her thoughts a whirlwind of self-doubt. Had she been blind? All those late nights Natalie claimed were for work, the sudden trips out of town signs she had dismissed as paranoia born from her own insecurities about their relationship in a world that still whispered judgments about two women in love. By morning, Stella had composed herself enough to confront Natalie, but the words stuck in her throat as she watched her fiancé sip coffee across the kitchen table, oblivious and smiling. "Good morning, love," Natalie said, her voice as sweet as ever, leaning in for a kiss that Stella dodged with a forced smile. Inside, Stella screamed, "How dare you pretend everything's fine? How can you look at me like that after what you've done?" The internal battle raged. Part of her wanted to shatter the illusion right there, to demand answers and watch Natalie's face crumple. But another part, the one scarred by years of hiding her true self from a conservative family, whispered caution. Exposing this now could unravel not just their engagement but the fragile acceptance she'd fought for from her parents, who had only recently stopped calling her orientation a phase. Natalie noticed the tension, her brow furrowing. "Stell, what's wrong? You look like you didn't sleep." Stella's heart pounded. This was the moment to strike, to lay bare the evidence and force the truth. But she hesitated, her mind flashing to their first date 3 years ago in New York City, where Natalie's laugh had cut through the noise of a crowded cafe, making Stella feel seen for the first time. That memory clashed with the present betrayal, creating a rift in her soul. Was love worth this pain? Or was it all a lie? She decided to play it cool, buying time to investigate. "Just wedding jitters," she lied, her voice steady despite the turmoil. As Natalie nodded and went back to her phone, probably texting again, Stella's resolve hardened. She would uncover everything no matter the cost. That afternoon, Stella delved deeper, using Natalie's unlocked laptop while she was at the gym. The emails were damning. Passionate declarations, plans for secret meetups in Chicago, where Natalie often traveled for her marketing job. A was Amanda, a colleague Stella had met at a company party, brunette, ambitious, and apparently straight, which added another layer of confusion and hurt. Why her? Stella wondered, tears finally spilling as she read about stolen kisses in hotel rooms. The betrayal wasn't just physical. It was emotional, a complete erosion of trust. Her inner voice tormented her. "You're not enough. You'll never be enough in a society that questions your love every day." But beneath the pain, anger flickered to life. She wouldn't let this destroy her quietly. Confrontation came that evening. Natalie walked in, gym bag slung over her shoulder, and Stella thrust the printed emails at her. "Explain this," she demanded, her voice breaking the air like thunder. Natalie's face drained of color, her eyes widening in shock. "Stella, it's not what it looks like." But the lie hung heavy, and as Natalie stammered excuses, stress from work, confusion about her feelings, Stella's world narrowed to the raw agony of being deceived by the person she trusted most. "How could you?" Stella whispered, her mind reeling with the implications. Their families were flying in for the wedding in 2 weeks. Invitations had been sent, deposits paid. Canceling now would mean public humiliation. Questions from friends who already eyed their relationship with subtle disdain. Natalie's tears flowed freely now. "I love you, Stell. Amanda was a mistake, a moment of weakness. Please, we can fix this." But Stella's heart had armored itself. Weakness? She thought bitterly. You've been planning this for months. The internal conflict peaked. Forgive and preserve the life they'd built, or walk away and face the fallout alone. Society's pressures loomed large. Her parents' reluctant approval, the whispers at work about those lesbians. Forgiving might mean swallowing her pride, but exposing it could empower her, even if it meant losing everything. As the night wore on, arguments escalated. Natalie begged for another chance, invoking their shared dreams of a family, adoption papers they'd started. "Think about us," she pleaded. But Stella's mind was a battlefield. "Us? There is no us anymore. You've betrayed not just me, but everything we've fought against, the judgments, the isolation." In a moment of clarity, Stella decided she couldn't marry a lie. "It's over," she said, the words tasting like ash. Natalie collapsed in sobs, but Stella felt a strange liberation amid the pain. She would cancel the wedding, but how? Quietly, or with the truth laid bare? The next days blurred into a haze of decisions. Stella confided in her best friend Lisa, who urged caution. "Society will blame you both, but more so because you're women. People love a scandal." Stella's thoughts echoed that fear. Am I ready to be the villain in my own story? Her family, devout Catholics from the Midwest, had barely accepted her coming out 5 years ago. Her mother still prayed for her to find the right path. Revealing Natalie's affair would confirm their worst fears, that same-sex relationships were doomed. Yet, the more Stella dwelled on it, the more she realized silence would perpetuate the cycle. She began planning not just to end it, but to expose it at the rehearsal dinner, where both families would be present. It was risky, dramatic, but necessary for her healing. As she packed Natalie's things, her mind raced. Is this revenge or justice? The moral quandary gnawed at her. Betrayal deserved consequences, but public shaming? That could destroy Natalie professionally, socially. Natalie, sensing the storm, tried reconciliation. She showed up at Stella's office with flowers, whispering apologies in the lobby. "I ended it with Amanda. Please let's talk." Colleagues stared, and Stella felt the weight of their gazes, the unspoken questions about her personal life invading her professional one. Inside she wavered. Maybe forgiveness is strength. But the hurt was too deep. Trust shattered couldn't be glued back seamlessly. The rehearsal dinner arrived, tension thick in the air of the upscale Chicago restaurant. Families mingled awkwardly, Stella's parents polite but distant, Natalie's more liberal clan effusive. As toasts began, Stella stood, her voice steady. "Before we celebrate, there's something you all need to know." She revealed the affair, holding up her phone with screenshots. Gasps echoed. Natalie's mother burst into tears. "How could you?" Stella's father thundered at Natalie, his face red with anger. Chaos ensued. Natalie fled the room humiliated. Stella's mother pulled her aside. "This is what happens when you choose this lifestyle," she hissed, igniting Stella's fury. Lifestyle? She thought. It's love or it was. The exposure backfired in ways. Friends sided, families fractured. But in the quiet aftermath, Stella felt unburdened, ready to rebuild. The scandal rippled outward like a stone in a pond, waves crashing against every shore of Stella's life. In the days following the rehearsal dinner debacle, her phone buzzed incessantly with messages, from concerned friends, judgmental relatives, and even curious acquaintances she'd barely spoken to in years. "I always knew something was off," one cousin texted, the words stinging like salt in a fresh wound. Stella stared at the screen, her mind a cauldron of regret and defiance. Did I go too far? She wondered, replaying the moment she dropped the bomb. The look on Natalie's face, pure devastation, haunted her, a ghost that whispered accusations of cruelty. Work became a minefield. As a graphic designer in a progressive but gossip-prone firm in downtown Chicago, Stella had always kept her personal life compartmentalized. Now, whispers followed her to meetings, colleagues exchanging glances when she entered the room. Her boss pulled her aside one afternoon. "Stella, I heard about everything. Take some time if you need." The pity in his eyes fueled her inner rage. "I don't need pity. I need justice." But beneath that, doubt crept in. Had exposing Natalie made her the hero or the villain? Society loved to paint women in love as tragic figures, and now she fit the bill perfectly, the jilted lesbian turning vengeful. Natalie, meanwhile, went radio silent at first, then unleashed a barrage of pleas via email. "You humiliated me in front of everyone. How do I face my family now?" One read. Stella's heart twisted. Part of her ached for the woman she'd loved, the one who'd helped her navigate coming out to her siblings. But the betrayal's scar was too raw. You humiliated me first, she thought, deleting the message without reply. The moral dilemma intensified. Forgiveness might heal, but at what cost to her self-respect? In a world where LGBTQ relationships were still scrutinized, admitting weakness could invite more doubt from outsiders. Seeking solace, Stella turned to therapy, a decision she'd postponed for too long. Her therapist, Dr. Ramirez, listened patiently as Stella poured out the story. Why public? Dr. Ramirez asked gently. Stella paused, her thoughts unraveling. Because hiding it would mean pretending everything's fine, like society expects us to. We're supposed to be grateful for any acceptance, right? But I won't swallow lies anymore. The session unearthed deeper wounds, childhood memories of her father's disapproval, school bullies calling her names. The affair wasn't just personal. It symbolized every invalidation she'd faced. As weeks passed, the fallout deepened. Natalie's family cut ties with Stella's, mutual friends chose sides, and social media erupted with vague posts that hinted at the drama without naming names. Stella scrolled through her feed one night, seeing a post from a distant acquaintance. Some people air dirty laundry to feel powerful. Sad. The comment pierced her. Was that what she'd become? Power hungry? Her inner monologue spiraled. No, it's empowerment. But the line between the two blurred, leaving her questioning her choices. Then came the unexpected twist. Amanda reached out. I didn't know she was engaged, the message claimed, followed by an invitation to meet. Curiosity won over caution, and Stella agreed to coffee at a neutral cafe. Amanda arrived, looking remorseful, her straight-passing demeanor a stark contrast to Stella's open identity. Natalie said you two were on a break, Amanda explained, eyes downcast. Stella's blood boiled. A break? We were planning our honeymoon. The lie exposed Natalie's deeper deception, but it also humanized Amanda, who confessed her own confusion about her sexuality. I thought it was just an experiment, she admitted. The conversation shifted Stella's perspective. Here was another woman grappling with societal pressures, hiding her attractions behind a heterosexual facade. Empathy flickered. We're all victims of the same system. But anger lingered. Why did their pain have to come at her expense? As they parted, Stella felt a seed of doubt plant itself. Maybe Natalie's infidelity stemmed from her own unaddressed fears, the weight of family expectations pushing her toward normalcy. Back home, Stella confronted her mother over dinner, the first real talk since the scandal. You think this proves your point, don't you? Stella accused. Her mother sighed. I just want you happy, Stella. This lifestyle brings complications. The word lifestyle ignited a firestorm inside Stella. It's not a choice. It's who I am. She wanted to scream. Instead, she laid bare her hurt. Your disapproval made me doubt myself for years. Maybe that's why I stayed with Natalie too long, proving I could make it work. The argument escalated, voices rising as old grievances surfaced. Her mother defended her views, rooted in faith and tradition, while Stella challenged them with stories of discrimination she'd faced, at jobs, in public, even from so-called allies. Society isn't ready, her mother argued. And you're not helping by making a spectacle. Stella's resolve cracked momentarily. Am I fighting a losing battle? But she pushed back. Change doesn't come from silence. Natalie reappeared dramatically, showing up at Stella's door one rainy evening. I need to explain, she begged, soaked and desperate. Stella let her in, the familiar scent stirring unwanted memories. Over tea, Natalie confessed everything. The affair started as flirtation, escalated during a stressful project. I was scared, Stell. My parents are accepting, but deep down I worried about kids, about fitting in. The admission hit hard. Stella had those fears too. Their shared vulnerabilities had bonded them, now tearing them apart. But as Natalie reached for her hand, Stella pulled away. You chose betrayal over talking to me. The rejection stung both. Natalie left in tears, leaving Stella alone with her thoughts. Was cutting her off the right choice, or a missed opportunity for redemption? The night stretched long, filled with what-ifs. Social pressures mounted when Stella's sister called, urging reconciliation. Think about the family image, she said. Image? Stella thought bitterly. Since when is love about appearances? Yet the call highlighted the broader stakes. Holidays divided, friendships lost. The drama wasn't just personal. It exposed fractures in their community, where LGBTQ acceptance was surface level at best. In a bold move, Stella attended a support group for queer women, sharing her story anonymously at first. Hearing others' tales of betrayal and resilience fortified her. One woman advised, "Healing comes from truth, not hiding." Inspired, Stella began journaling her thoughts, turning pain into purpose. But doubts persisted. Had her public exposure empowered or isolated her further? Months after the altar exposure, Stella found herself navigating a new normal, one laced with unexpected alliances and lingering betrayals. Work had stabilized, but the gossip lingered like a bad aftertaste, prompting her to consider a job change. During an interview at a more inclusive agency, the hiring manager mentioned, "I admire how you handled your personal challenges publicly. It shows strength." The compliment surprised her. Perhaps the scandal had reframed her as resilient rather than reckless. Inside, though, she questioned, strength or stupidity? The moral ambiguity of her choice haunted her daily. Natalie, undeterred by rejection, escalated her efforts. She sent a letter through the mail, old-fashioned, deliberate. "I know I hurt you, but I've started therapy. I realize now my actions stemmed from internalized homophobia, fearing I couldn't give you the life we deserved." Reading it, Stella's emotions clashed. Pity for Natalie's struggles mixed with resentment. "You had me. Why wasn't that enough?" The letter forced her to confront her own flaws. Had she ignored signs of Natalie's unhappiness, too focused on the wedding as proof of their validity? Family dynamics shifted dramatically. Stella's father, silent for weeks, called unexpectedly. "I'm sorry for not supporting you sooner," he said gruffly. "Seeing what that woman did, it made me realize love is love, but trust is everything." The apology, rare from him, cracked her defenses. Tears welled as she replied, "It took a scandal for you to see that?" His admission sparked hope, but also anger at the cost. Why does progress require pain? She pondered, the societal irony biting deep. Amanda became an unlikely confidant, meeting Stella again for lunch. "Natalie manipulated us both," Amanda confessed, revealing texts where Natalie downplayed her engagement. The revelation fueled Stella's vindication, but complicated her narrative. Was Natalie the villain, or a product of pressures that twisted her? Their conversation delved into deeper waters, Amanda's bi curiosity, Stella's experiences with biphobia in the lesbian community. "I felt like an outsider," Amanda admitted. Stella empathized. "Me too, even in my own relationship." This budding friendship stirred controversy when a mutual acquaintance spotted them and spread rumors. "Stella's moving on with the other woman?" The whisper network buzzed. Natalie confronted Stella via text. "You're seeing Amanda? After everything?" The accusation ignited fury. "How dare you judge me?" Stella shot back. "We're friends. Unlike you, I don't hide." The exchange escalated into a heated call. Voices raised over past grievances. "You ruined my life," Natalie yelled. "You ruined ours," Stella countered, hanging up with trembling hands. The confrontation pushed Stella toward self-reflection. In therapy, she explored her anger's roots. Not just the affair, but years of suppressing emotions to fit societal molds. "You're allowed to be messy," Dr. Ramirez said. Messy? Stella thought. In a world that demands perfection from queer folks? The session unearthed a plan. Write about her experience anonymously for a blog, turning personal drama into advocacy. Posting the piece online, titled Betrayed but Unbroken, Stella poured out the raw truth. The pain of discovery, the weight of exposure, the societal double standards. Comments flooded in. Support from strangers, criticism from trolls. She deserved privacy, one read. Privacy for cheaters? She fumed inwardly. The feedback amplified her internal debate. Did public shaming advance the cause or set it back? Natalie's response came swiftly, a public social media post apologizing vaguely. "I made mistakes and hurt someone I love. Working on myself." Friends tagged Stella, forcing her to respond or ignore. Choosing silence felt like defeat. Replying risked more drama. Ultimately, she commented, healing isn't performative. The exchange went viral in their circles, drawing lines in the sand. Amid the chaos, Stella's mother reached out for reconciliation. Over coffee, she admitted, I was wrong to judge. Your father's heart attack scare last month made me think, life's too short for grudges. The vulnerability surprised Stella. Her mother's faith had always been a barrier. Does this mean acceptance? Stella asked. It's a start, her mother replied. The moment was bittersweet. Progress at the price of near loss. But betrayal struck again when Stella discovered Natalie had confided in her sister, twisting the narrative. She said you were controlling, her sister revealed hesitantly. The lie cut deep, eroding family trust anew. Confronting Natalie at a neutral park, Stella demanded, why spread lies? Natalie, tearful, confessed, I was hurt. Lashing out. The admission humanized her, but Stella's resolve held. Hurt doesn't justify more hurt. The meeting ended in stalemate, both women damaged. Stella walked away pondering ethics. Where does accountability end and revenge begin? Society's lens magnified their drama, labeling them as troubled lesbians, reinforcing stereotypes. Inspired by the blog's impact, Stella volunteered at an LGBTQ center, counseling others on relationships. Sharing her story empowered her, but echoes of doubt remained. Am I defined by this betrayal forever? As high noon approached in their saga, a mutual friend's wedding invitation arrived, a test of boundaries. Attending meant facing Natalie, skipping meant cowardice. Stella RSVP'd yes, steeling herself for confrontation. The wedding loomed like a storm cloud, a gathering of shared acquaintances where Stella and Natalie would inevitably cross paths. Stella arrived early, dressed sharply to mask her nerves, her mind a torrent of strategies. Avoid her? Confront again? Or feign indifference? As guests mingled, she spotted Natalie across the room, laughing with old friends. Her poise a facade Stella recognized all too well. Inside, jealousy and hurt collided. How can you move on so easily while I'm still picking up pieces? The ceremony passed in a blur, vows echoing the ones Stella had once envisioned. During the reception, fate, or meddling friends, seated them at adjacent tables. Tension crackled, whispers rippled. Natalie approached during a lull, glass in hand. Can we talk? Privately. Stella's instinct screamed no, but curiosity won. They stepped onto the balcony, city lights twinkling below. I read your blog, Natalie began. You're turning our pain into something good. I'm proud even if it hurts. The compliment disarmed Stella momentarily. Proud? After what you did. But Natalie's eyes held genuine remorse. I've come out fully to my family about my struggles. Therapy's helping. Stella listened, her inner voice conflicted. Is this manipulation or growth? The conversation unearthed buried feelings, love's remnants amid the ruins. But as Natalie leaned in, suggesting reconciliation, Stella recoiled. You think words fix betrayal? The rejection sparked Natalie's defensiveness. You exposed me to punish me. Admit it. The accusation hit home. Stella's mind raced. Was it punishment? Or liberation? Their argument intensified. Voices low but fierce, drawing stares from inside. A friend intervened, pulling them apart, but the damage lingered. Back at her table, Stella reflected on the evening's toll. Emotional exhaustion, reopened wounds. Society's gaze felt heavier here, among allies, who gawked at the drama. Am I entertainment? She wondered bitterly. Post-wedding, the encounter fueled Stella's next blog post, delving into forgiveness's complexities in queer relationships. We face enough external battles. Why add internal ones? She wrote. Responses varied. Some praised her insight, others accused her of excusing infidelity. The discourse mirrored her turmoil, right versus wrong blurred in gray areas. Family pressures resurfaced when her parents invited her home for Thanksgiving. Bring a friend if you want, her mother said tentatively. The gesture signaled change, but Stella hesitated. Am I ready to test this? Attending alone, she found her father more open, sharing stories of his youth's regrets. I wish I'd been better sooner, he admitted. The vulnerability bridged gaps, but Stella's thoughts wandered to Natalie. Does she deserve a similar chance? Amanda's friendship deepened, offering platonic support. Over drinks, Amanda shared her coming-out journey. Your strength inspired me. The bond provided healing, but rumors persisted, complicating matters when Natalie accused Stella of hypocrisy. You're with her now? A message read. Stella's reply was firm. Friends. Focus on yourself. The climax built when Natalie announced a new job in another city on social media. Relief washed over Stella. Distance might end the cycle. But a farewell party invite arrived, a final test. Attending, Stella faced Natalie one last time. I'm leaving to start over, Natalie said. I hope you find peace. The words carried weight. Stella replied, you too. No hugs, no drama, just closure? Yet as Natalie left, Stella felt emptiness. Had she won, or lost part of herself? The moral quandaries peaked. Betrayal demands consequences, but at what human cost? Inspired, Stella channeled energy into activism, speaking at a local Pride event about resilience amid heartbreak. Our stories matter, flaws and all, she declared. Applause followed, but internally she questioned. Am I healed or performing? A surprise came via email. Natalie's apology letter, detailed and sincere. I own my mistakes. No excuses. Reading it, Stella wavered. Forgive privately? Her therapist advised. Forgiveness is for you, not her. The decision loomed, a crossroads of heart and mind. In a quiet moment, Stella visited their old apartment, now empty. Memories flooded. Laughter, plans, betrayal. Tears fell as she whispered goodbye to the past. With Natalie's departure, Stella embraced solitude, using it to rebuild from the ground up. She threw herself into work, landing a promotion that affirmed her talents beyond the scandal. Colleagues' respect grew. One confided, your honesty changed how I view relationships. The validation soothed, but Stella's inner dialogue persisted. Honesty at what price? The exposure had empowered some, alienated others. A double-edged sword in a society quick to judge queer lives. Family bonds strengthened gradually. Holidays became less tense, her parents asking genuine questions about her life. Tell us about your friends. Her mother probed one evening. Stella shared about Amanda, watching for reactions. To her surprise, acceptance followed. As long as you're happy. The shift felt miraculous, born from the drama's ashes. But she pondered. Why did it take catastrophe for empathy? Amanda's presence evolved into a true friendship, free of romance. They attended events together, discussing life's ironies. Natalie taught me caution, Amanda said. Stella nodded, her thoughts reflective. And me resilience. Their talks highlighted societal shifts, more visibility, yet persistent biases. We're progress, but not there yet, Stella mused. Echoes of Natalie arrived sporadically. A mutual friend mentioned her thriving in Seattle, dating openly. Jealousy flickered briefly, then faded. Good for her, Stella thought, surprising herself with detachment. The growth marked healing, but scars remained, trust issues shadowing new connections. At a conference, Stella met Elena, a fellow designer whose warmth sparked interest. Flirtation ensued, but Stella held back, mind racing. Am I ready? Or forever guarded? Dates followed cautiously, Elena's patience easing fears. Your past doesn't define you, Elena said. The words resonated, challenging Stella's self-doubt. Yet old wounds reopened when a tabloid-esque article surfaced online. Anonymized but clearly about their scandal. Lesbian love triangle exposed. Fury surged. Who leaked this? Suspecting a bitter acquaintance, Stella confronted the void. The piece reinforced stereotypes, drawing hateful comments. Her blog response went viral. Our pains aren't your entertainment. Demand better. The backlash united her community, petitions circulating for media accountability. Stella led the charge, turning victimhood into advocacy. This is bigger than me, she told supporters. Internally, triumph mixed with weariness. How many battles must we fight? Reconciliation with Natalie came unexpectedly via a video call. I'm sorry for everything, Natalie said. I see now the damage I caused. Stella listened, emotions swirling. I forgive you for my sake. The words lifted a weight, but no reunion followed. Closure, not revival. As Stella moved forward, dating Elena seriously, she reflected on the journey: betrayal, exposure, growth. Society's pressures had tested her, but she'd emerged stronger, questioning norms. Elena's family welcomed her warmly, contrasting her own past struggles. At a dinner, Stella shared her story lightly, earning nods. You're brave, Elena's mother said. Brave? Stella thought. Or just surviving? The relationship blossomed, but challenges arose. Elena's ex resurfacing, testing trust. Stella navigated carefully, applying lessons learned. Communication first, she insisted. The approach worked, deepening their bond. Years condensed into moments. Pride parades attended, laws changing, personal milestones. Stella published a book on queer resilience, dedicating it to those who choose truth over silence. In quiet reflection, she wondered about paths not taken. Silence instead of exposure? Forgiveness sooner? The what-ifs lingered, fueling debates in her mind. Ultimately, Stella stood firm in her choices, a testament to enduring amid adversity. Was exposing the betrayal publicly the right moral choice? Or did it perpetuate more harm than healing?